Well, hello, my friend. If you're seeing this, it means you're watching the replay from the live broadcast. That also means this is a live broadcast, so you're about to see about a 5 minute timer and some very entertaining music. So here we go. See you soon.
If before the earth was made, wisdom stood tall, knowing every step through the rise and the fall. In the pages of Proverbs, secrets unfold, revealing a treasure more precious than gold. Get wise, open your eyes, read a chapter every day. You'll realize, guided by wisdom, let preparedness rise. Get wise, it's no surprise, a proverb a day will bring wisdom your way. Get wise. It takes wisdom to get paid, to walk the right way, to make the right choices every single day. From the dawn of creation to the hustle and grind, Proverbs light the path for a clear state of mind. Get wise, open your eyes, read a chapter every day. You'll realize, guided by wisdom, let preparedness rise. Get wise, it's no surprise, a proverb a day will bring wisdom your way. Get wise, a proverb a day will bring wisdom your way. Wives shouldn't nag, men shouldn't brag. Shut your lips like a vice. Show people your Get wise, open your eyes, read a chapter every day. You'll realize, guided by wisdom, let preparedness rise. Get wise, it's no surprise, a proverb a day will bring wisdom your way. Get wise. In every verse, there's a lesson to learn, a spark of truth in every turn. So take a moment, let the words sink in with every chapter. Let the journey begin. Get wise, open your eyes, read a chapter every day. You realize, guided by wisdom, led by wisdom, let preparedness rise. Get wise, it's no surprise, a proverb a day will bring wisdom your way. Get wise, get wise, open your eyes, read a chapter every day. You'll realize, guided by wisdom.
Okay, that's enough of that. Welcome to Proverbs Every Day. Uh, no, that's not actually Michael McDonald. Just, just so you know. But I went there. It was unreal to me that that actually worked to have the AI generate that that tune like that. It's called prompt engineering, folks. It's an art form. I'm like cracking up over here. I don't know if it's a lack of sleep or just that is genuinely entertaining, or maybe it's both. But in any case, let's get started. Let me pray for you, and then we'll go into our study today. Father God, thank you so much for joy. Thank you for all the various ways in which you can have us to find your peace and understanding during times of various trials and various distractions and various noise. So, Father, this morning I ask that you would please be with us to just calm our minds, calm the storm, that we can actually uh, sit at your feet and learn from you this morning. We do pray this all in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, let's jump in.
It's time for Proverbs every day. Words of wisdom show you the way. Every month a whole new look, different version of the book. Reading the whole chapter each calendar day. Proverbs every day. Proverbs every day.
Fantastic. All right. Well, once again, welcome. And we are still reading in the Holman, is it Holman Christian Standard Bible? I almost said it flipped around, but Holman Christian Standard Bible, Proverbs 4. Let's dive right into this here. A little early with that little thing, so it's my preparedness did not rise this morning. There we go. A father's example, chapter 4. Listen, my sons, to a father's discipline, and pay attention so that you may gain understanding. For I am giving you good instruction. Don't abandon my teaching. So once again, this is a that admonition at the very beginning. Once again, but I do find this interesting. It's not just son; it's sons. In other words, this does indicate that it's not just for children, but there might be more of a fatherly figure, not just a literal father here. So I think we can pretty safely infer that, especially given the rest that we see down the road. So, verse 3: When I was a son with my father, tender and precious to my mother, he taught me, and said, "Your heart must hold on to my words. Keep my commands and live. Get wisdom, get understanding. Don't forget or turn away from the words of my mouth." So I think there's a lot here. Highlight that. Verse 6: Don't abandon wisdom, and she will watch over you. Love her, and she will guard you. Wisdom is supreme, so get wisdom. Whatever else you get understanding. Cherish her, and she will exalt you. If you embrace her, she will honor you. She will place a garland of grace on your head. She will give you a crown of beauty. And there's a lot of poetry here, but at the same time, this is one of those things where when we're looking at all the things we could be seeking after and spending our time with, and honestly, I do like spending these 15 minutes at the first time of the day kind of thing, 15, 20 minutes or half hour, depending on if I'm preaching. Uh, but this is one of those things where it's like it allows us to set a focus for the day. And so we can continue seeking after this point, continue looking for things. How do we apply this to our life today? When that random post comes up on our phone and we're just like, how can we apply wisdom to that situation? How can we seek after her guidance instead of looking at the various things the world has. That's kind of what we're talking about here when we're actually placing a garland of grace on your head. Um, and that is a kind of a metaphor for that of saying that this is a kind of a twofold thing. It's saying, look, you're covered, but it also means you have to be thinking, and so it's ordering it, you giving a signal that this is how you order your thinking. Verse 10, listen, my son. So it's not sons in this. Interesting. It's my son. Hmm. Accept my words, and you will live many years. I am teaching you the way of wisdom. I'm guiding you on straight paths. When you walk, your steps will not be hindered. When you run, you will not stumble. So this is a commonly quoted thing here, but we have to remember that this is not automatic. This is because of the way of wisdom. And we have to accept those words. Otherwise, this doesn't happen. And again, it's just like that the kind of sales script that we were talking about yesterday, where it is the hold on to instruction, don't let it go, guard it, for it is your life. And again, marking that in green because that's something that I actually think I needed today. I actually needed that whole guard it part, to not just take it for granted or take it like, oh yeah, I've heard this before. No, actually take ownership of it, guard it. Don't set foot on the path of the wicked. Don't proceed in the way of evil ones. Verse 15, avoid it. Don't travel on it. That's the path of the wicked. Turn away from it, pass it by. For they can't sleep unless they have done what is evil. And this would be a reference to the way of evil ones. They are robbed of sleep unless they can make someone stumble. They eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. Now counterpoint that. Verse 18. The path of the righteous is like the light of dawn, shining brighter and brighter until midday. The way of the wicked is like the darkest gloom. They don't know what makes them stumble. And this is actually something that is, we talk about this quite a bit. That they, we I don't know if this is just strictly a modern thing or if it's just human nature in general. We tend to ascribe intentionality with actions, and I would argue that that is not how that works. How actions actually work is that they are a result of our orientation. They're a result of our character. And it may not be that the wicked people intend to go stumbling about in the dark gloom. That's not their intentions. But because of their orientation, because of their actions, that's what ends up being the case. And so it's kind of that whole the result they didn't anticipate ends up being exactly what the result is because there's no intentionality behind it. And so if somebody's being bad or evil, that sort of thing, we don't necessarily want to assume that that is their intent. Actually, this is kind of what gets talked about later when we talk about the character of the fool is just like this, where they just don't have a clue what's happening to them. They're so lost in their way that they just are just stumbling about. So the path of the righteous is brighter, the way of the wicked is dark. Straight path. Verse 20. My son, pay attention to my words. Listen closely to my sayings. Don't lose sight of them. Keep them within your heart, for they are life to those who find them, and health to one's body. And this is always fascinating to me that we have words becoming health to one's body. How does that work? Well, the body is a mystery we haven't fully figured out yet. And God has designed it way, way smarter than we ever could be. I'm finding the more we meddle with this, the worse it gets. And so, if we believe that God designed this and that words can be from God, then that literally, I believe that does bring health to one's body, either by intention, like I was saying earlier, or by just result. Verse 23, guard your heart above all else, or guard your heart with all diligence, for it is the source of life. Don't let your mouth speak dishonestly. Don't let your lips talk deviously. Let your eyes look forward. Let your gaze, or fix your gaze straight ahead. Your eyelids straight ahead. Interesting. Carefully consider the path for your feet, or clear a path for your feet, and all your ways will be established. Don't turn to the right or the left. Keep your feet away from evil. Those are really good instructions there. So this one's slightly shorter and a little repetitive, which I think we've said before is actually a good thing. When you have things that are repeating, it tends to be helpful, not hurtful, in these kind of scenarios. So basically, what you have is some that repetition is what helps us understand and retain. And so it's another reason why we do a new translation every month and just make sure we're reading the same passages, is because we're able to kind of give new perspectives on that. And so it kind of solidifies the true meaning with us and not just memorizing the words. Yeah. Awesome stuff. So yeah, consider this kind of a preview of what's to come in a lot of ways. We're setting our intention in this chapter. We're setting our intention for what we're going to be looking at, but also the carefully consider. This really does point to what I'm saying about the difference between intentionality and just results. Because if we do carefully consider what our path is, and we don't just walk along and do that weird Christian thing, or that Christianese thing, where we just, you know, well, God's a lamp to my feet, and so I'm just going to walk and he won't let me stumble. So are you just a victim then? Is that how that works? You're basically just not, you're not to be taking any responsibility for your path at that point. Is that what we're hearing? Uh, no, we need to be carefully considering our paths, and God does light our path. He is a light to our feet. It's pretty obvious here that's a intended part of this, but we have to be intentional about it. Otherwise, we're just kind of wandering around and hoping for the best. And that's not really what God's after for us. He wants us to be people that are carefully considering our path and establishing those paths because of it. It's one of those things where it's just like, this is just how it works. And so if you try to establish in a not lit path, if you try to, go in places that are not lit well, that's a good indicator that you might need to take a step back and, consider your path a little bit. And not just say, oh, no, just got to go back here. Really dive into it and figure out what is going on here. Um, that's something I'm doing this in my own life right now. I'm putting some things forward, and I find myself questioning if this is really the long term strategy. And so it's one of those where it's a substantial um, there's some substantial investments that I'm making in a lot of things, and I'm just trying to make sure that they're going to be wise, but at the same time, it's it's uh, it's pointing out to me the things that are true, and I'm actively considering my path here. So knowing that there's a lot of different ways I can go with it, I'm just trying to figure out where God really wants me, and kind of seeking that well lit path, I guess you could say, and purposely stepping onto it, and not just being led like an animal, but um, established like a a firm person of faith that He wants us to be. So that's me, though. Is there anything going on in your life? Be sure to let me know. If there's any way we can pray for you, feel free to bring that up. But in the meantime, we'll always ask the same kind of thing, or we're just encouraging you to take this month and get onto YouTube as a platform. I think as far as this goes, I'm actually working on a few ideas with that too, about how I can basically just have a way to send you these without having you potentially distracted by social media at all, and just have these as something that's just available to you without any kind of um, outside whatever. So it's something I'm looking at, and so I'm hoping to have some answers on that later this month. Right now, I'm kind of overwhelmed with some other things going on, but I'm hoping to actually have some clear direction on if that's going to be possible. It may be just something as simple as having a service where uh, people can just get a text message reminding them, or yeah, whatever time they want, or yeah, I'm not 100% sure what that's going to look like, but I'm trying to get to the place of like not being exposed to the distractions of social media, but still getting these messages. So I'm working on it, and I don't know how much more work that's going to produce, or how much costs that'll incur, but it is something that I'm looking for. As I kind of mentioned the other day, this is something I'm actively interested in, especially right now when there is just so much just utter foolishness going on, and people just not thinking, and it's so hard not to want to step in and say, yeah, no, I don't think so. Yeah, it's like, have you actually looked at this at all? And it's like it's so hard, and so much time that I feel I'm wasting, even just watching things like that, or looking at them, or just especially if I'm not even. I mean, I'm not even participating at that point. I'm just a dumping ground for other people's drama. Essentially, that's what you're allowing yourself to do on social media right now, which is a shame. It seemed when we all started this, it was like this positive thing. It was just like, here's what I'm doing today. Isn't it cool? Hey, what are you doing today? Hey, that's awesome. That used to be what it was, and now it's like, yeah, just something different. So anyway, where my mind is at with that, and so there's some things to be praying about how we can make that happen. Where that comes from, as far as like how it's funded, how much it'll cost, and whatever. But I'm getting rapidly to that point of saying, yeah, yeah, this other stuff is just so distracting, and I don't like it anymore. And so I don't want to put you through that just to be able to see these. So um, open to suggestions. I might be having a once I figure out kind of the direction, I might be calling for people to help me with some of the logistics of it, just the daily care and feeding. But we'll see. Until then, be blessed by the best, and then go be a blessing in all the rest. Love you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.